Okay, I just want to show you what I have so far and where I'm headed with this project. I had made this veneer a while back using a lot of different colors of metal foil, metal leaf, and I stacked them up and did a Mica and then cut slices and put it on another piece of translucent. This is all done with translucent clay, but put it on another thin sheet of translucent. So these are now, and then I ran it one way through my pasta machine, which was this way, on setting number 3. So this is a veneer on setting number 3. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that I've been using older clay and canes and stuff and not using new clay. I've only opened, I think, 1 bar of new clay in the last year. And on my channel is a Mermaid tin box that I made, and it has a Mermaid Mold on the front of it. And I did this one at the same time. So this one has been sitting like this in my drawer for probably a year. So I figured it was time to use her. So what was I going to do with her? Well, I have a seashell dish. So I'm going to end up setting her in my seashell dish. Now I'm going to do her with some chalk pastels and pan pastels and color her in. This is a piece of translucent rolled out on a number 1. This one has the silver foil over it, which will be the outside of my dish once it's all finished. So this is rolled out on a number 1 to give me some thickness to hold up that mermaid mold securely, since my other one's only on a number 3. And I'm going to use this texture sheet I'm going to put the texture sheet down on my work surface with the design side up, and then I'm going to lay my clay with the foil side on the texture sheet and press down. If your fingers get sticky and lifts the clay back up and it doesn't get a good imprint, if your clay will take water, you can wet your fingers or mist the clay with water. Or if you are using one of the clays that doesn't like water very well, you can use cornstarch, and that will do the same thing without affecting your clay. Lay your clay over top of your mold. Mine's a shell. Your dish may be something else. But you really need to watch for air bubbles. Especially with it having the silver leaf on it. It's not going to attach to the ceramic dish like it would if it didn't have, if it was just clay. So take your time with this. It's going to try your patience. But this is a very important part to get your clay on your dish without air bubbles underneath it. You can use ball tools, silicone tip tools. Christy Friesen's tools are great with doing something like this. And get it down into your dish as best as possible. And then cut away the excess clay so the extra clay doesn't weight it down and pull it back up out of your dish when you're trying to get it stuck in your dish. Work from the center of your dish out towards the edges and push the air out as you go. Eventually it will come out the top or the sides of your dish. When you think you've got it down in your dish pretty well, take your X-Acto knife or blade and cut around the outside of your dish and cut all that extra clay off of there. Then you can go back in and work on getting the air bubbles out if there's any in there. Okay, now that we got the bottom layer in, it's time to lay our veneer on. This one isn't quite as hard to get the air bubbles out of it because you're attaching raw clay to raw clay. So I like using a wide smooth tool to get these out. Christy Friesen has some tools that are fantastic for doing this. But just do basically the same thing with the layer of your veneer. Spread it out over your dish. And when you get it all worked out, then cut off the edges. It's finally time to start working on the mermaid. I'm going to use some chalk pastels for her face and arms. I find that they do a little bit better on skin tones than the pan pastels. Don't use a small detail brush, it just flips powders everywhere. So use a short-haired, more sturdy type brush to apply your powders of any kind, whether it be chalk pastels or pan pastels, or even mica powders in this case. I'm going to add my darkest blue pan pastel to the background and get it in all of the little detailed areas, and I'll pull some of it back out, but I want that to show the depth of the piece because I want the mermaid to really stand out, and you have to show the depth to be able to bring her forward. To remove some of the powder that you don't want in a space, use some clear Scotch tape and just lightly rub over your design and it will pull off some of the powders. Now it may take 2 or 3 or 4 times depending on how dark it's down there and how light you want it, but eventually you'll get what you want. Okay, I'm back to my pan pastels. I went on and did a magenta color on these larger waves right here, but I lost that footage. So I'm sorry about that, but I did the same thing. I put the pan pastels down, whether it be pink or blue, and did it the same way. Now I still want to add a little bit more pink in here, so I'm using the chalk pastels, which is the white and the pink, and I've shaved a little bit of them off, and I've sort of mixed them together right here. I'm wanting lighter pink here, and this would be on her bathing suit right here, and I'm using my short-haired brush to where I can push it down in the clay. There's not much of a bathing suit there, but I guess something's better than nothing, isn't it? And I've got a little bit darker pink here. And I'm going to go back in with my detail brush and just hit that darker pink and go around the edge up here. and up towards your arm a little bit. And you can blow it off, just be careful and cover up what you've scraped off to use so it doesn't get blown away or blown somewhere where it shouldn't be. Because what makes these really pretty is when you use darker colors and pull off chalk to give you lighter areas, and you have so much contrast in them, it looks more natural. Okay, let me get that off of there. And I got a little bit of pink up here on her arm, so I want to take it off. And I'm using Scotch tape and my Christy freezing tool. Now that came right off. See that little pink right there? That's what was on there, and that's what I got off. Okay, I'm trying to add in some purple pan pastels. And I think I may keep them on the outside because I want to pull in some of the colors that's in the veneer. But I need to keep them more at a distance since they're darker. Clean up your edges and make sure that your base clay is where you need it to be on going around your seashell dish. And it's time to add the mermaid back in the dish. I'm going to use some liquid clay on the back of her and stick her in the bowl where I want her. Then I'm going to add a little bit of mica powders on top of her hair and the shell, and just going around some of the wavy areas just to give it a little bit of sparkle and shine. And she's ready to bake, so we'll see what happens. I used Sculpey Clear Glaze on just the mermaid itself and let that part really dry before I did anything else to it. So I'm going to add my gem sticky with a toothbrush, and you need to add enough to hold your rhinestone in. And I had before I baked her, I took a little tool and made a little groove here to set her necklace in. But you need to have enough gem sticky on your pieces where you're going to put your rhinestone for it to come out of the sides of the rhinestone and make its own bezel to help hold it in. So don't be afraid to add too much because it will cure clear. Wasn't sure I had my rhinestones facing upwards. I want to make sure I set it at the curvature. So it helps her neck look more round. And now I will put my rhinestones in place. Use the other end of my crystal katana to press them in. You probably noticed I haven't taken the dish off of the shell dish yet. Just thought it may be easier to work with. Let's see if I can't find another. If you'll remember, I took my ball tool and made the indentions in these bubbles. But I think I need a larger rhinestone right here. When you have foil on the back of your piece that's up against glass or metal or something, it's real easy to get off. Just loosen up something with a very small tool or blade and break that seal, and it'll come right out. I just took a nail file and sanded down the sharp edges along the dish, and that's all it needs because you're going to finish it with deep shine anyhow. But just get those edges a little bit smooth. Now it's time to add the deep shine on. And boy, you'll be able to tell a difference. I'll do one side first so you can see, even before it's cured, how much shine you get with this product. It's great for beads and curved necklaces too, but it's not a dumbing resin, remember. Look at this. That just brings out that shine, and that's how it cures once it's under the lamp. So notice both sides. I'll do the other side in a second. But look at the difference already. This side's almost ready for the UV lamp. I've got the deep shine on all of the inside of the shell. But remember, I didn't put it on the mermaid. That's where I used the Sculpey Clear Glaze. But look how pretty this is. This inside part of the dish is all finished and cured with deep shine. Now it's time to turn it over and do the back. We'll do the same thing. Just brush it on. Make sure it's everywhere. And we put it under the UV lamp to cure again. Just for about 3 minutes, 5 minutes at tops. It doesn't take long. While the back side of the shell is underneath the UV light curing, I want to show you how I store my brushes that I use only in resin. I don't clean them with a cleaner or soap and water, alcohol, or anything. I just wipe off the extra resin, whether it be deep shine or magic gloss or whatever, and I put them in a little foil house that I made for them to keep them nice and comfy and clean. As long as it's all folded up, the UV light or the sunlight can't get to it, and you never have to clean them. They'll stay moist and ready to use. And this is your deep shine. That's the UV resin that's the brush on. This is the game-changing product, Gem Sticking. Both can be found at tinypandora.com. They're just wonderful products that you can trust. Well, this is the ending of the 70th video I have on my channel, so I hope there's something out there that I can offer you. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you. And I hope you enjoy it and show me some pictures of some dishes you make. So have a great creating time. Blessings.